What's up, brothers? Hope everyone's doing well out there. It's a nice, cool fall evening, and the sun has just set. So you know what that means. I had to turn the camera on and come out here to shoot the shit with you guys for a little while. And as I was scrolling through my memory bank, searching for just the right story to tell you guys, I think I've come up with the perfect one. So it's time to come out here and strike while the iron's hot. And if we ever meet in person, you're more than welcome to tell me a story as well. Under one condition. You must say things the way they are, not the way you wish they were. Anyways, on to my story. A few years back, I guess it was probably 2019, I met a girl. We worked together for only about 2 weeks. She decided to leave the company shortly after she started. But while she was there, she added me on Facebook and we exchanged phone numbers. And after she left, we would text here and there, message each other back and forth here and there for about a year or two. And one night she must have been going through something, but she decided she wanted to invite me over for a drink and a movie. And I didn't have much going on that night, so it didn't take a whole lot of convincing. And I decided to take her up on her offer. So shortly after that, I got in my car and I drove over to her apartment. She answered the door with a smile on her face. She asked me if I'd like something to drink, and I said sure. And she poured me a glass of Crown Royal and Coca-Cola. Nothing fancy, but I would prefer that. A little bit of whiskey, a little bit of Coca-Cola, it goes good together. Anyways, we sat there and we watched a movie, and I looked over. She had a smile on her face. You know that smile when a lady's just waiting for you to make a move. So I decided, you know what? I've been here before and I've done this before. Not with this particular girl, but I think I know what to do. So I made a move. And I don't think I have to go too far into detail about what happened next. And over the course of the next, I'd say about a year and a half to 2 years, we continued this many, many times. Not once did we ever go on a date. Not once did we ever go out to dinner. It was either my place or hers. Maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe once a month, whatever. It was off and on. Friends with benefits type deal. Every time I would go over to her apartment, she was an excellent hostess. On a hot summer day, I'd walk in the door 110 degrees. She'd greet me with a bottle of ice water. Had some sort of a mosquito poking me in the face. As I was saying, I'd open the door on a nice hot summer day, and she'd greet me with a ice-cold bottle of ice water. Excellent hostess. Excellent girl. She took care of me every time we were together. And also every time I would show up at her doorstep, there was a guy sitting across the walkway on his porch, his patio. He'd always nod his head and wave at me when I was walking in. He doesn't really have much to do with this story, but I always remember seeing him there. Anyways, this girl was about as wholesome of a girl as you're possibly going to find in this day and age. She was good looking. She could cook. She was an excellent hostess. She knew how to take care of a man. Very friendly, very cooperative. Active member of her church. Served. She was a well-respected lady. And we just had a friends with benefits thing going on. Anyways, one day I'm scrolling through Facebook and her post pops up and it says she had just gotten married You know, it's her and some guy standing there. He's in the wedding tux and she's in a wedding gown, and they had their wedding. Now, I should throw in this piece of information. She and I had hooked up 2 weeks prior to this wedding taking place. So I'm doing the math here for you. And seems like to my calculation that this guy had probably been courting her for several months, maybe years. And he decided that she was a good woman and he wanted to marry her, so he got down on one knee and he got engaged. And then several months later, the two of them got married. Not once did she ever bring this guy up. Not once did I ever see any signs of her being with anybody else. Not once was he ever there when I showed up at her apartment. I knew nothing about him, and I'm sure he knew nothing about me. Now, the reason I'm telling you this story is because there's 3 men in this story, and whether you like it or not, if you objectively look at yourself and answer this question, you got to be one of these 3 guys. So which guy are you? Are you the guy that's marrying her? Are you the guy that's hooking up with her and having a good time, maybe until that guy comes along? Or are you the guy that's sitting across the walkway, choosing to stay single and not participate, but seeing what's going on behind the scenes? You know, that's your typical red pill Manospherian MGTOW type. You know, which guy are you? You got to be one of the 3. Those are the only 3 choices. In this dating game, in this world, as a young man, as a man in general, you got to be one of those 3. It's your only options. So the first question is, which guy are you? And the second one is, which guy do you want to be? Now, I know when I told you that story, a lot of guys would say, well, that guy that wifed her up is a, you know, these new manosphere guys would say he's a beta cuck or something like that, right? He's a simp or some shit like that. I don't see it that way. Here's how I see it. He found a good woman that treated him well, knows how to take care of a man, good head on her shoulders, friendly, cooperative, good looking. And he said, you know what? I'm going to wife this woman up before somebody else does. And that's exactly what he did. And she and I don't talk anymore. She's married now. You know, it is what it is. Now, regardless of which guy you are and which guy you want to be, you kind of have to understand the way the dating game operates and the way women operate in this dating game and the way men operate in this dating game. Yeah, sure. We don't live in the 1920s. Women don't wear chastity belts. They're out there, you know, at a fairly young age. They're hooking up. They're doing the same things men are doing. But here's what you have to understand about most women. Overwhelming majority of them. Sure, they'll ride the carousel. They're out there riding the carousel. But what they're really looking for is a man that'll take them serious and wife them up and start a family with them. And the thing is, most men are checking out and they don't want to do that anymore. I don't necessarily blame them. You know, it's a decision that you can make as a man. When you can have all the fun with none of the responsibility, hey, you know, that's your decision. You can check out and not play the game at all. That's your decision. But just understand, they are riding the carousel. And it's easy to get involved with all this, you know, manosphere advice, top 5 masculine attraction triggers to get a woman hooked and make her addicted to you, and top 5 masculine traits that women can't resist, and the masculine secrets to get a woman hooked. Here's the thing. They're riding the carousel. until a man finally decides to take them serious. If you're the man that wants to take her serious, you can probably have her for the rest of your life. You know, that's what most women want. But let's be honest, most men aren't pursuing women that way. Thou shalt not simp. Thou shalt not chase. Most men exist in one of two paradigms. Paradigm number one is the red-pilled alpha male paradigm, where they think they exist to be a high-value man, and women should serve a high-value man because a high-value man deserves to be served. Well, that's a grandiose way of thinking, you know, and it's a nice dream to have when you watch alpha male content, but in reality it's not a very solid foundation. Then you have your men on the other side, the simps, the men that exist to serve women. These are the guys that could never become high value men because all they desire is a woman. All they desire is a lady to fulfill that empty void in their hearts. So they chase a woman and they worship a woman. Thou shalt not simp. Now these type of guys, they might meet themselves a narcissistic woman that thinks she wants to be worshipped, but eventually she'll leave his ass, because a lady like that's never satisfied. But a man that's going to get things done and accomplish what he wants has to understand that his value is built on his ability to serve the world, to provide service to the world. Doesn't matter if you're a carpenter, a podcaster, a barber, a lawyer, a musician. If you provide a service that you can give to the world, meaning you don't chase women, you don't chase other things, you provide a service, well, you can turn yourself into a high value man. And that is important. But the way you pursue women is you have a plan for women. You know, you look at a woman and you say, I have a plan for you. Your plan could be that you want to take her home tonight and have sex with her. Your plan could be that you want to marry her. Your plan could be that you want to spend the rest of your life with her and build a family with her. But you have to come up with a plan, and then you have to walk her through that plan step by step. And it's one step at a time. It's that simple. You call her up and you say, you know, what are your plans on Friday? She says, I'm busy on Friday. You say, cool. What's your schedule like next week? She says, I'm free next Friday. You say, perfect, because that actually works out better for me anyways. And then you invite her out wherever you want to invite her to. And then it's one step at a time from there. If you want to marry her, well, you come up with a plan to get that done, to get proposed. You know, you set up a wedding, but you got to plan things out one step at a time. You don't sit around and learn the top 5 alpha male tricks to keep a woman hooked. That's not a plan. That's really dumb shit. But you know how Manospherians are. The Manospherian clickbait content creators and the Manospherian clickbaitable viewers. They combine forces to go back and forth with clickbait about the top 5 alpha male tricks that women can't resist about high value men. Never getting anywhere, but constantly stuck in that cycle. No, you gotta have a plan. One step at a time. Be a man with a fucking plan. Just like you're running a business. Alright guys. Guess I'll go ahead and shut this one off because it's getting a lot darker than it looks. I've got my camera set to where you can't really tell that it's getting dark, but before we know it, it'll get all grainy and you won't be able to see me. So I have to shut this one off. But I do indeed hope this video was somewhat informative. And that's about it for today, guys. Until next time, see ya.